professional LA choreographer, former Olympic level gymnast, soccer player, a turned life improvement motivational speaker. I absolutely love helping people create the life they choose. Alright, so today I'm back with John, and we're going to discuss beliefs, and if beliefs are hurting or helping you. It was interesting this week, John, because as you know, I do post the thought of the day video form on several social medias. And this week, one of them was on how to plan for the life you want. And that when you plan for things, those are things that you achieve. I mean, they teach that from schooling to athletics. It's just one of those things they teach you to plan. So after I put that thought of the day out, I get feedback often from people. Majority of the time is quite positive because people are looking for opportunity to see things differently, do things differently, and even opportunity to ponder or consider that something could be different. But there was one guy that came back. I'm going to assume that he was older, just due to kind of language he used. I think that he thinks I'm much younger than I am, which, okay, I'll take that. Because he went on to tell me that it must be really great to be me, because I'm obviously not living in the real world, and that teaching people that you can plan for the life that you want, that you can decide on what kind of life you want, is a disservice to the community. And that one day I'm going to realize that my fairyland that I live in isn't real life, and that I'm going to come to reality. So after taking a moment to really read his information, the things that he believes, I thought, isn't that something? Because then, shortly after that, I was at the grocery store. I ran into a woman. I was just sitting waiting for a prescription to be filled, and so we were chatting. And she goes on to tell me, now she was dressed nicely, I was assuming she came back from work, but she goes on to tell me that she's tired of her life not being what she wants it to be. And I said to her simply, well, what are you planning on? She says, well, I'm not going to plan for much, because if I don't plan for much, I'm never going to be disappointed that I don't receive. And as I took time to really ponder that, those are her beliefs also. So the beliefs that we have, the beliefs that we own, it's all of this information. Information is coming to us all day long. And the beautiful thing, which I think the majority of people don't realize, you have the power to decide what information you're going to own and what information you're going to trash. Not all information is correct. Not all information is good for you. Not all information is going to propel you to the life you want to go to. You must take time. First, when information comes at you, when I say information, often that's quote-unquote opinions, because opinions aren't always information either. It's not always educational. Often, opinion is the downfall and the fear of the person giving it to you. So when opinion comes to you, you must take a moment to step back and say, all right, let me look at Susie here. I really love Susie. She's a great woman. I love her as a friend, but I'm going to look at her life. She's not an expert in living life because she struggles to be who she wants to be. She struggles to find her peace, her happiness, her joy. So if she's struggling in those areas, that would be silly of me to think, I think I'm going to own Susie's information right there, her opinions, her stuff that she's giving me, because she's not an expert. It would be like wanting to be that surgeon and going to a construction guy. Well, he's not going to tell you how to be a surgeon, and vice versa. I want to build a home. I'm not going to go ask some surgeon how to do that. I think people need to be more focused and aware of who they're taking information from, because when you take information, you take it and then you own it. And when you own it, that's when a belief is formed. Now you own this thing, this opinion of someone, and you've made it a belief of yours. Now you make this belief of, I'm not going to wish for too much because then I will never be disappointed when I don't receive. That's a belief she owns. When she owns that belief came from someplace, of course, but she chose Exclamation points. The point here is he has these certain beliefs that he's lived, I'm going to assume he's a little older, for years. And these beliefs are, I have the life I'm given, whatever that life that is. I don't really have much opportunity because I haven't been given much opportunity, which is a belief. I'm going to just live this junky life because really there's no hope, because that's just silliness to think that you can create something different. There's another belief. And don't think that life can ever change, or anyone's life can ever change, because that's not like how life works. There's another belief. Now, those beliefs that this man owns are never going to serve him. They will forever hold him back. They will forever continue to make him less than a man who struggles, a man who never achieves, a man who never sees the brilliance in life, because he has these beliefs. Now, these beliefs, which I know he would argue, well, that's not my fault. That's not my fault that I have these beliefs, because he sees that everything that comes at him is just being thrown at him, and that he, for some reason, feels he must own it. When, in all reality, all the crap and all the good that comes at you, you get to pick and choose what you own. And as I was reading this information from this guy, I'm thinking to myself, and listening to this woman, geez, these are just two people that I've run into in the last couple of days. That tells me there's a good majority of people out in the world who think like this, who live like this, who have this outlook on life. If you have this outlook on life, the lack of hope, the lack of inspiration, the lack of motivation, the lack of believing you can have better, your life not only is going to be miserable, it's going to be filled with a lot of illness, a lot of depression, a lot of lack of mentality. You're never really going to soar, because brilliance never comes from the things you can't do, what you can't have, and what is not working. Brilliance never comes from the things that pull you down, tick you off, and don't work for you. Brilliance only comes from inspiration, motivation, passion, and the hope for. Because as we've discussed before, inspiration and passion and motivation are like standing hand in hand with God, life, and the universe. When you feel those things, you're hopeful, you know you can do more, you know you can actually conquer. That means you're standing hand in hand, because they're helping you to create the life you want on their terms, not on the terms of the world. The world lives backwards. The way the world has been living for centuries is not propelling any of us to a better place. And I listened to a guy, actually, today, his podcast. He was quite interesting. He was very philosophical on on good and evil. And does that really work for us? And is that really how life works? And does it work through religion? Does it work through science? And I thought it was very interesting, because he did talk about the fact that good and evil is yes, in many forms, what you determine it to be. You know, not everyone sees good and evil the same. And he also talked about the fact that religion teaches you good and evil based upon what they want you to believe good and evil to be. But in his ending little statements, I thought it was interesting, because he said, the fact of the matter is, good and evil, you know, you can't even determine that in science. You as an individual needs to determine good and evil by how you feel. What do you feel when you see something good, in your opinion? What do you feel when you see something bad, in your opinion? Because all of that is going to be different for everyone. So with these belief things, it's going to be the same thing. You want different in your life, you need to sit back and really think about, how are you feeling about life? If you're feeling negative, angry, like things can't be done, change only happens when change happens. It's as simple as that. You want change, you must change. You want peace, you must search out peace. You want hope, you must decide to hope. So individuals that get in this rut and say, nothing can ever change, this is just how life is, nothing will ever get better, they're correct. They're absolutely correct. Nothing is ever going to change for them. Nothing is ever going to get better to change in order